Yo, you know what a pet peeve of mine is?
What?
Bro, when people say morning or night and they don't say good before. Like what is the point? You're just telling me the time of day. I like bro, like it sounds small, but it's such a pet peeve. Like I fucking hate that shit. Like
Honestly,
when you
bro, I only hate it. Not to interrupt you. I only don't like that if it's the individual that I'm talking to. You send me some shit like that, I'm not responding. Morning? Like, who do you
Yeah,
think you're talking
exactly.
to?
That's what I'm saying.
Night?
The whole point is saying good night, good morning. I don't know, man. That's that's one of those things that just scuffs my Tims, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Variety of Verks with Sunveer and Noveneet.
Today we're just gonna be discussing relationships and love, and you're hearing it from the two.
Best people you could hear this shit from.
I'll be
Certified.
asking advice from the worst people.
Nah,
No, I'm
man.
kidding.
Listen, I'm
We're pretty smart.
unlovable. I'm emotionally unavailable, but I can give some damn good advice. That's
Well, it's like you know that single friend that always got relationship advice to give. They are
hey
in the
man.
shittiest relationships possible.
Hey man.
Yeah,
Listen.
can't relate, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean you're cuffed. So, you have a boyfriend. So with that being said though, how was your Valentine's Day?
it was good. We went to the gym, did legs. Pretty chill. Nothing crazy. How's yours, man?
I mean it was kind of lonely, not gonna lie to you.
You didn't have a
You
Valentine?
know, no, I did not have a Valentine, unfortunately.
I find that
Kind
hard
of
to believe,
I'm down
man.
bad. You know what I'm saying?
I find that very hard to believe. I
Down very bad.
guarantee you, it's probably one or two women watching this losing their damn mind. Like
Nah,
I know,
man,
like I
nah,
know he's
nah.
not saying
I
he
did
didn't
not
have a
have a
Valentine.
Valentine. I did not have a Valentine. What do you think about Valentine's Day?
I think it's just like any other holiday to make money and profit off of people.
Okay, well, that's a very I get that. The society we live in is for that, but I'm saying like the one
I
holiday
mean,
you
it's
don't you
cute. It's cute. Even when I wasn't in a relationship, like I still thought it was cute when like men did nice stuff for their women. But I feel like you should do that for your women regularly anyway.
but
No,
you wouldn't put it that high. Like, you have your anniversaries, your
no.
birthdays,
I
things
mean,
like
it's a
that,
cute
like that are
holiday or whatever, but
in
it is
terms of
what
like
it is.
relationship milestones, you don't think it's like up there. You don't think
No,
it's okay.
not really. No. I
Okay.
feel like your anniversary is more important than Valentine's Day.
No, I
You
of
know, here,
course.
let me put men onto something. If you really want to woo a girl,
Like impress a woman if
yeah,
you want
yeah,
to
yeah,
impress a
yeah. If
woman.
you, yeah, 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 yeah. Y'all should be getting that woman flowers. Like, so the day you guys started talking, or the day you started dating, if you get that woman flowers that day every single month, she's gonna love that shit. It's
No,
cute.
but
It's a
you
nice
don't you don't
gesture.
think like it kind of gets a little repetitive?
No,
Really?
no,
If
not
she likes
really.
you,
I
right?
mean, like,
If she
if
doesn't
yeah,
like
if
you.
she likes you, and if she's an appreciative woman, then yeah. See, that's the thing about women, bro. It be the simplest stuff that you have to do as a man, and women will appreciate it. And here's the thing. Let me say one thing loud and clear. If that man does not get you flowers, he hates you.
Nah, that's
Because
facts. That's facts. That I
flowers are
agree.
like flowers are like $5 for a bouquet at certain places. ten
Nah, even
dollars
then, even
maybe.
like if he's getting like you,
20,
bro.
20 max. You want a nice bouquet? $20? Like, come on, bro. He doesn't have $20 in a month to buy you flowers. Like, that man does not like you. And it doesn't even have to be flowers. It's like if a man doesn't like do nice gestures for you out of his own will, he literally hates you.
Certain aspects of modern day dating in terms of like doing stuff that your girl, like if your girl likes flowers, right? Would it kill you to get her flowers? Like,
No,
or
literally, exactly.
like but then it gets to other things too where it's more like, okay, like if your girl doesn't like that you do something on social media. So say she doesn't like that you like other girls' pictures or that you interact with someone or whatever. I think that like so many people get caught up in, oh, like she's telling me what to do or he's telling me, because it's both ways. He's telling me what to do, she's telling me what to do, or whatever. And it's like, if your partner doesn't like something that you do, just, I
Stop.
mean, and it's reasonable. I mean, if they like want
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. If
control,
it's a reasonable request,
yeah.
stop doing it. I want to know your thoughts on liking women's photos when you're in a relationship. What are your
Mm,
thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've talked to girls who, aren't really on social media, and you bring that up to them, and they're like, what does that even mean? Like, that's not even a big deal. And then there's some people that, it's a very big deal. Like, it looks disrespectful, it looks rude, things like
Yes,
that. So I think perspective really matters. But I think another part of that is also like, again, back to the conversation, is if your girl doesn't like it, or if your partner doesn't like it, just stop doing it, because it's not worth, like, in my opinion, it's not worth the fight, and it's not worth
exactly.
upsetting someone. Like, it's a damn like, bro. Is your right to like something on a social media platform worth more than, your partner getting upset about it?
And it's not even an unreasonable request. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of men will be like, that request is controlling or the woman is insecure. But from a perspective of a woman, it's just mad disrespectful to do that. And also the argument that a lot of men have is just social media, it's just a like. So it's like, okay, if it's just social media, it's just a like, then
Yeah.
stop doing it.
I don't care if someone like whatever, do whatever, but if your partner doesn't, if you know your partner doesn't like that, then why would you do something your partner doesn't like?
And it's not even an unreasonable request. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of men will be like, that request is controlling or the woman is insecure. But from a perspective of a woman, it's just mad disrespectful to do that. Like, why are you doing that? It, like, to me, it just doesn't make sense. And also, the argument that a lot of men have is just social media, it's just a like. So it's like, okay, if it's just social media, it's just a like, then
Yeah.
stop doing it.
Well,
It's that
that
simple.
too. But it's also like if you like, cause I know a lot of, or I've seen a lot of relationships where like, oh, it's just a like why do you care so much? Bro, if the guy, or no, if the girl likes another dude's picture, or if the girl
Oh,
comments
hell
in
breaks
on another
loose.
dude's picture, or if like the dude like slides into her DMs or something, it's like a whole situation. But if you inverse that, then I don't know, it's a lot of contradictions in
Hypocrisy?
in how we have this conversation. I feel like sometimes, but it's also like something like social media is also something, it influences a relationship like differently, because it could improve. Like, you could learn things about a relationship from social media, but you could also like, because so many people use it to compare, so you compare everything, and it's
Yeah.
like it's something where like you're comparing like gifts or flowers, or this person did this for this person, so why doesn't my partner do that? And I think that's what kind of, I don't know, I feel like the whole thing, like where people are like, oh, like you can't really know the real person on social media, bro. If you like look at what they retweet, look at what they like, you may not know the person, but you can get a good idea of what they like.
I
Yeah.
feel like if you express something to your partner once that you don't like them doing something, you find it disrespectful or hurtful or whatever, and they continue to do it, that person does not respect you. They don't care about you,
Yeah.
and they're honestly very selfish. So that's my take on that. I also just think that social media has been more detrimental for relationships than it has
Really?
benefited them. Yes.
So I would
I
ask this.
think
So when you say that, you think like specific parts of Twitter or specific parts of Instagram like are to blame, or like what do you think? Like, would you expand on that?
so. Basically, the reason why I think that is with social media, we have access to so much information, right? We
Yeah.
have so much stimulus that we're seeing. And when you're trying to talk to someone, it's just you think you have so many options, right? Because you just
Yeah.
log on to Twitter, you log on to Instagram, and you'll see 1,000 women, 1,000 men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, they may look good, sure, but you don't, like, so people get into this loop of just like, oh, there's always something better out there. So I feel like
Yeah.
they don't put in their effort into one person. And I think that's one of the reasons why modern day dating has situationships. and why people don't want to commit because they keep thinking there's something better out there. Versus when they find someone and that individual might tick off like 90% of what they want, of their requirements, but
Yeah.
they're still missing 10%, so they're still looking for that. And I
Hmm.
feel like social media just promotes that even more. I just think it has more of a negative effect than it does positive. And even not even in terms of not wanting to commit to someone, but like you said, in terms of comparison. Like you have teenagers over here, being like, why isn't this man buying me like a
Yeah.
Birkin on the first date? Like you're 18. He can't afford that. Most individuals in their 20s, 30s can't afford that either. But you know what I
Hmm.
mean? They look at this stuff and it's like, why is she getting that and I'm not getting that? And it's made it easier to cheat. Like if you wanted to cheat, it is so easy to cheat.
I don't agree with that though. All the women that are like, oh, you have to get a man that's not on social media. Motherfucker, that's the person who's cheating on you the most. I would like to let you know. The dudes that do the whole like, oh, I'm just on Twitter for sports and I just retweet sport. Yeah, those people are cheating on you the most. FYI. Because you have no proof, you have no evidence of who they're talking to, anything like that. Like this whole like idea that, oh, I want a man who's not. Those people cheat the most. I can guarantee you. Guarantee you, as a man, I guarantee you. But beyond that, like when it comes to social media, like I think it's such a big part of modern day dating, is because like like the whole like, oh, you like a girl's picture, she likes your picture back, right? And then you slide in her DM, she slide in your DM. Well, you women don't really slide in DMs like that, but you slide in her DMs, it goes well, you start texting, blah 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 blah. And then it's like, is it a situationship? Is it a talking stage? That's when you kind of
See,
get into those waters,
this is also why I never take the it's just social media statements. Like, I think those are very ignorant to make. Oh, it's just social media. But that's how most people meet each other nowadays, is through social media. If I met
The
my partner on social media and they're over here telling me, oh, it's just social media, it's just a like.
the
That's how we met. That's how we started talking. What do you mean?
So basically, like the point of this segment is that Noveneet does not like when her man likes another person's picture or comments on another person's picture.
I mean, I don't have to deal with that. Listen,
You
bro,
know,
there's women out here that will have to beg their man to stop liking another woman's photos, and that man is not like, he just doesn't stop. And at that point, I need you to know that man hates you. He really does. Bro, listen, you gotta tell yourself this. If you tell someone, man or woman, you tell someone, hey, this is disrespectful, I don't like you doing this, and they completely ignore it and continue to do it, they hate you. People will change their behavior for someone that they actually want to be with. A lot of people, and this is why there's like so many like situationships and all of this too, is because a lot of, hate to break it to you guys, a lot of you are placeholders. That man is keeping you around because you benefit him in some sort of way without him having to give you a title, without him having to establish whatever you guys are. You're giving him all the benefits of a girlfriend, a wife, without a title. So why would he do anything for you when you're doing everything for him?
well, I mean,
It
I agree.
just
I agree with that, but I also like that's when you have to start talking about like, okay, like what do you date for? Because you can like it's something like where like, okay, I go to a bar, right, and I'm flirting with a girl. I'm like you drink, you have fun, whatever. Am I do you like is every conversation you have with someone like long term, or is it like I'm talking to this thing, I'm talking to her, like we might be something, we might not. Like is that I feel like
yeah, I
that's also like
mean,
a part of it. Like when you have like situationships and you have like these other situations, I think it really depends on like what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like if
yeah, it
and is
depends
and
on the person.
if
Like if you're cool with that,
yeah.
cool. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking for a relationship, then obviously like that's not gonna be it's not gonna be like, don't put yourself in that situation is what I'm saying. If you see certain red flags, stop making excuses for that individual and leave. You know, one thing that I have learned from like my male friends like you is the fact that when they okay, like if a woman does something that a man doesn't like, men tend to leave, they'll dip, right? If you don't meet his requirements, they don't sit there and be like, she doesn't meet XYZ, but like we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Women will continue to be with a man based off potential. And that's where they get into these situationships. That's where they screw themselves over because they create this like fallacy of what this man is, and
You
it's
start
just like
romanticizing like what you want them to be
exactly.
and not the reality of who
Exactly.
they
And
are.
he
Yeah.
and yeah, and it's like he is not that person that you think he is, and you keep giving him the benefit of the doubt, and now you're just wasting your own time because guess what? He at the end of the day, he's not the guy you want him to be. And okay, just one thing about women too is they don't take accountability. Like I get it, bro. Someone does you dirty, yes, it sucks, but at the end of the day, you have to take accountability for the fact if someone does something to you once, twice, it's like okay, that's their character, but if you keep allowing it to happen, you got to take accountability at some
Have you
point and be
heard
like,
have
I'm
you
allowing this person to treat me bad.
have you heard have you heard that one there's that one quote where it's like a woman's heart will will but basically like a woman's heart will like change and like grow or like mend itself to like fit a man in it, right? But it's like it's something like about like how like basically how bad men are, because like men on the other hand, their hearts don't like they don't change like that. Like they don't have the space for loving someone or loving a woman that they don't feel is like 10 out of 10 everything that they want, versus like women on the other hand, and there's a lot of societal things that go into this probably, like they're more willing to like kind of like find a man and kind of deal with whatever they have to deal with because the romanticization and other things. But like basically the quote is about how a woman is more willing to love a man than a man is willing to love a woman that doesn't maybe meet all the requirements that they want. So it's about to be my favorite time, one of my favorite segments that I planned out for this episode: Twitter hypotheticals.
Twitter hypotheticals are so
Twitter
funny, bro, because
hypotheticals.
it's like these conversations have been going on Twitter for
And it's
years.
only on Twitter. Only on Twitter.
Years. It's only Twitter too.
You don't see this shit anywhere else.
Every week, $200 dates. Every week, 50-50, splitting bills. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Do you guys like not have anything else to talk about?
So what do you think about, the first date? Who's paying? Who's paying? Who do you think?
Men.
As a representative of men, I have to say I think that you should split the bill 50-50. And
Bro, you gotta be joking.
I'm saying that as a man. But my objective response would be that the man definitely does. If you it depends what you want, right? If you enjoyed the date, right? If you enjoyed being with her, she's a good whatever, you should pay for the date. You should pay for the date no matter what. Because there's two reasons, right? Two main reasons. That girl has friends. And that girl also has social media. Probably, right? So, if you don't pay for that damn date, she's gonna tweet about you being broke. And then if she doesn't tweet about you being broke, she's gonna tell her friends of how cheap you are. And then boom, you got like a whole group of women now that don't like you because you were being cheap, right? So those are like two, kind of quick ones right there. But the other thing is like if you like the girl, right? It's kind of like an alpha move, like not to use that term, but it's kind of like you kind of just slap your card on the table. You're like, hey, nah, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like women like that. You know what I'm saying? They like that whole kind of being provided for type thing. I mean, depending on the woman, some don't like that. But and another thing is on top of that, most women, if you pay for the first date, they'll get the second one if they like you, or they'll be like, nah, I got it, something like that. Like they'll like there's it's kind of like it's like a quid pro quo, but they will take care of you. You will in some way or another, you will get reimbursed for the money that you spent on that date if they like you. If they don't, I mean, champ, that's your fault. Like you whiffed on the swing, you struck out. Better luck next time.
I just want to interject here and add that I think culture plays a huge influence on this whole 50-50 men women paying, because like in our culture, bro, Punjabi culture, men are expected to provide, men are expected to pay, men are expected to take care of women. So
Listen.
and listen, bro, let me speak.
I got a lot to
Western
say,
culture,
man.
all these women that are complaining about like their man asking them to go 50-50, whatever, I've just noticed that it's men from Western culture that they're dating. You want a man to provide for you, date a man that's not raised like in Western culture.
Okay, let me get in here. Okay, with that being said though, right? First of all, we're gonna talk more about this in the next episode, which is gonna be about gender roles. So I just want to get that clear. But the second thing is, I don't know, because that's also like maybe back in the day, like it was more like, oh, of course the women would never pay. But nowadays, you know, there's men out there that I've seen that, you know, they make the woman pay, or they you know, even the first everything, they make them pay for everything. So
Yeah,
I
those men are
mean,
terrible.
when it comes to that, I think that the whole 50-50 thing though, like there's a lot more that goes into that kind of discourse, and it's a lot like it's a different conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Like
man, I'm putting this out there. I do not believe in 50-50 relationships. I mean, when it comes to like monetary things, relationships
wait,
should be
But
50-50.
before you say anything, everything I'm saying, I paid for every date I've ever been on. I'm not the guy. All right. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the one. I pay for every date. If I'm eating, even if I'm not on a date, if I'm eating with women, I pay for that. Like I just want to
I
make
can
that
vouch for
kind of,
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to make
That is
that
very
clear.
true.
I'm not the cheap man. Don't call me the cheap man. All right. No, don't call me that.
I'm
I
not coming
pay,
for you. I
but
can vouch for that.
you know,
Sunveer does pay. He does
yeah.
pay.
Next hypothetical though. So the $200 first date,
I think that's ridiculous.
the really expensive first date.
$200 first dates. It's just like that's just another social media expectation. Are there men that will do that? Yes, obviously. But is it necessary? No. Now, I'm not saying invite a woman over to your place as a first date,
Yeah, thank you. I was about to say that.
or take her you know what I hate, bro, you know what I hate on Twitter that they be
What?
having is it'll be like fast food and they're sitting in a car, right? And there'll be like dates
Oh,
like these. No, that's not a date.
yeah, that is
I'm
true.
not sitting
Yeah.
in your car and eating fast food.
Well, it's not.
No,
Well, you
that
could do
shit
that,
is
but it's
not a
not
date.
considered a date.
Yeah, you could do that, but that's not a date. I mean, that's something
Yeah,
like you would do with your partner, maybe
that's a
like down the
hangout. That's a
road.
hangout. That's a
Yeah,
hangout.
like you chilling with your partner. Okay, cool, whatever. That's not a date. And Twitter needs to stop calling. You know what else I hate on Twitter? I'm
But
just going on like a tangent right now.
yeah.
The this and a blunt Twitter. Bro,
What you
you
mean?
potheads, you guys need to. Everything does not need to be this and a blunt. I
Neither.
swear to God, bro,
What you
it'll
mean?
be like it's literally anything, and then here comes pothead Twitter. This and a blunt. This and a blunt. No,
Amelie?
that's not a date either. Yeah, literally, I'm leave Twitter. My point is, you don't have to take people on or go on $200 dates or whatever, but make sure it's a proper date. And the thing is, bro, if a man likes you, he's gonna put effort
Here
in
we go with
and
this shit
take you
again.
on a. It's true. Listen, I need women to understand that if a man is not doing nice stuff for you, he hates you. If you are talking to a man, this man is communicating with you, and he is not doing nice things for you out of his own will, he hates you. You
Okay.
need to find another man.
What would you say, like for a man, right? What would you say is like kind of the perfect like 3 date, like the first, like what should their first 3 dates try to be? Like if they really want to woo a woman, they really want to impress a woman. What do you think like they should do in those first 3 days? Assuming that they get every date, they get 3 chances.
Well, it depends on what the woman likes. So, if you're talking to a woman, you got to understand what she likes and base
Okay.
dates off of that. But as a man, you should always pick a woman up on the first date. You should always have flowers for her on the first date. It's just gestures, like actually take the initiative to plan something. Be a gentleman. Like,
Be a
be
gentleman.
for real. Like, yeah, literally, just be a gentleman. It's not that hard. All jokes aside, though, that's what I mean by if a man actually likes you, he's gonna be a gentleman. He's going to actually want to court you. So I may, be sitting here joking that the man hates you if he's not doing XYZ, but there's truth behind every joke. If a man is
Alright.
not courting you properly, you need to love yourself and get out of there.
Okay. All right. So what do you think, like, we kind of touched on it earlier, but what do you think of like culture kind of like influences on that? Because I think like a big part of like our culture is obviously is, provide, like the man being, you're providing, you're caring for another person and everything. Do you think like, and I know a lot of other cultures are very similar to that, where the man is supposed to provide for the women and supposed to do things for the women, and the women are expected to in return, stay in the kitchen and take care of more of the domestic work and things like that. So when you start dating, and we live in obviously with modern day dating, all this stuff, the variety of things you have to deal with now presently, what do you think about like the cultural influence on like dating and marriages, love marriages, arranged marriages? What do you think about
It really depends because, we mentioned this in our last episode how we're first generation here, right?
that?
So my parents, obviously, they grew up in India, so they still have cultural influence from India, whereas I grew up in America, so I have both American influence as well as Punjabi influence on my views on things. But when it comes to cultural influence, I think in our culture, dating is very, not as much now, but it has been like a taboo topic, like
Yeah,
most people, especially women, will hide the fact that they're dating someone from their parents
yeah,
because in our culture, dating isn't just something that you do for fun. It's if you're
yeah. There's
dating
no
someone, you're
casual.
dating. Exactly, it's dating to marry. So if you bring someone home, it better be somebody that you can bring to your parents and be like, I'm planning to marry this individual, or I'm, seeing a future with them. So in terms of culture, in Punjabi culture, dating is very marriage oriented. I think at least versus Western culture, I'd be in high school and kids would be dating and they have like a new boyfriend or girlfriend every other week. Their parents would be knowing about it and be cool with it, and I'm just like, that's just so different than what I grew up with.
Part of that is also like I remember, like being in high school and stuff, and you see like these like you see these couples like the man or the woman is going on, like family vacations and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
like with their girlfriend and boyfriend, and then they break up like 2 weeks later, or like they like the man was cheating on her, but he's still going on the family vacation, so it's just like the culture shock that you kind of get like interacting with like modern American dating culture, and then
so different.
our traditional Punjabi culture. But I think it's also something like, okay, like I live in a place, obviously I talked about this last episode, there's not a lot of Punjabi people here, right?
Yeah,
So there's not a lot of, like the amount of youth in the area are very like small. So there's not a lot of like, other Punjabis to date or other Punjabis to see. So when you kind of get into like, dating outside or, things like that, or like you start talking about love marriage and arranged marriage and things like that, it's very like, I don't know, I want to say it's like more conservative than it is in like other places, because in like Canada, I feel like, you were saying the thing about dating in Canada or in places with a denser Punjabi population. I see that like, bro, they be out there like, like dating and shit, like they like
I
doing
know,
like
like damn, they be
regular, like
dating.
regular shit, versus like,
Yeah,
I don't know, in more like, I guess like less dense Punjabi populations, like,
I
where
mean
I'm
it's the
from.
same in California too, where there's a lot of Punjabi people too. It's the same situation. They be dating.
Yeah,
I feel yeah,
their families know, and it's
yeah,
more like
exactly.
versus,
So
I
it,
don't know,
it just depends really.
I guess where you're at, things like that. I mean, the culture obviously varies depending on where you're at and your interaction with it and things like that. The biggest part of this, and Navneet may not agree, but the biggest part of this is you can have fun, you can have situationships, you can have this other thing, as long as everyone understands the rules of the game. As long as there's clear communication, there's not faltered expectations. If you're able to clearly communicate everything that you want or what it is with your hookup with someone, with your interaction with someone, then I think it's okay. Once you start getting into trouble is when you start leading people on, you start getting people to expect things, blah, 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 that, you may not be able to provide for them. That's when the trouble really starts.
Listen, man, if you want to be in a situationship and waste your time, by all means, go ahead. Do what you got to do. If you're cool with it, if both parties are cool with it, like,
Live
it's your
life, have
life.
a
Do
good time,
what you
have a
want to
good time.
do.
Anyways, with
Yeah, I
that being
guess.
said, we're gonna roll into now we're gonna roll into submissions from you guys. So the first one is gonna be about interracial and interfaith dating. So
Hot topic.
interracial dating, I think along with parents, even the kids of our generation should be supporting this. I think brown boys and brown girls are so quick to go, wow, she's dating a white guy, or oh, he's dating a so and so. We are all in this together. Religion and culture can be shared and it's beautiful. I fully agree. I
And then
am
someone else just said in relation to this, interfaith dating and your views on sick dating non-sick. So we're just gonna address both of those
That's
comments
yeah.
in
So we're
this.
kind of together in this
I didn't mean to
answer.
interrupt you. Continue.
No,
Yeah.
you kind of did, but anyways, with that being said, I think I think that that's what like, I mean, my personal opinion, if you know that your family wouldn't like that, and you know that your standards wouldn't like that, that's something that you would have to kind of figure out. But again, like this is the other thing: are you dating to please your parents? Are you getting into marriage to please your parents? Because there are people who do that, and there are people who respect their parents' wishes and who want that, as backwards as they may be, as backwards in my opinion as they may be. But who am I to tell, someone what not to do and do with their life? I would think that interracial dating is a good thing. It's a nice thing. I know that sometimes like the race of a person, the culture isn't necessarily like that important. More so like the religion is. So I
Yeah.
think part of it is and like the thing in our culture is like they have to be the same religion and they have to be the same caste. Like most of the time,
For
like
for
if if
most
if
for most people, yeah.
if someone cares that they're the same religion, more likely than not, they care about them being the same caste. I agree with the first person who said that. I think if you're married, if you're dating and you're marrying for love, love is love, man. You can marry whoever. Shit.
Here's my thing on that. Do what you want to do because at the end of the day, what somebody does with their life does not affect me. So I personally don't see an issue with it because it's your life. It is not affecting me. The only issue that I have is if you know your parents are not going to be accepting of an individual that's not of the same culture or the same religion, and you're dating them knowing your parents aren't going to accept them and knowing that you want to uphold your parents' wishes and you're wasting that individual's time, then you are a terrible person.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
if you know your family is not going to accept it and you know you're not going to fight for the relationship, then don't waste people's time.
No, that was kind of like what I was gonna talk about like, hey, like if you know someone is not the person that your parents may want for you, and you're not willing to go against your parents' wishes, then you shouldn't waste that individual's time. And most of the time, I'm saying this,
Exactly.
this happens 99% of the time with men, and they're leading on American women. They're leading on
Yep.
women that they know that they're not gonna be able to get in a marriage with because their parents won't accept it and they want to listen to their parents' wishes. And instead, they just waste they waste that person's time. They waste their own time, and then they get into a relationship or a marriage that's not necessarily like something that they want because they just got out of this relationship with this person, and you're just going into a new one, and it's just all around just bad, you know. But to address like the second question a little bit more, like interfaith dating and your views on sex dating, non-sex, again, that's one of the things that like what you value, right? If you value your religion, you want to marry someone within your religion, that's your prerogative. You're more than willing to do that, and have an anant courage and do that whole deal.
Just to add on to what you're saying in terms of interfaith marriage is, if you and your partner are of different religions and you two are okay with being of different religions, that's your guys' choice. That's something you have to work out. When it comes to your children and what faith they're going to follow, what you want them to
Mm-hmm.
follow, how you want to raise your kids, that is your guys' problem. Not even problem, but you know what I mean? Like, that's your choice. If you two are on the same page and are willing to work past being different religions, then by all means, date the person that's not the same religion as you. However, I do believe that, if you're dating someone of a different religion, you should still respect your religion's rules or, like Mariada. As a Sikh, if you are dating somebody who's not Sikh, fine. But, don't have an Anand Karj done because that is something that's supposed to be between two Sikh. It's like, that I actually do agree with. You can still marry them, sure, but just, get a court marriage done or, I don't
I've heard a
know,
lot of people they have like a
traditional.
Sukhmani Sahib part. They do
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly. Because that is supposed to be between two Sikh. And I don't know the rules for, other religions necessarily, but like in our religion, it's meant to be between two Sikh. So
But I think the thing with that though you know, is that it's also a conversation where like, are you like a Gorsik? Like isn't it supposed to be between two like Amrit 36, That's another conversation for a different episode though.
My whole take is if you don't agree with it, cool. Don't marry somebody out of your culture or your faith. If
Hmm.
another individual is doing that, why are you so pressed about it?
Yeah,
What
I
about
agree.
them marrying that individual is affecting your life?
Moving on to, the next topic bundle is hookup culture, and we kind of talked about this earlier, but thoughts on desi hookup culture and why are hookup culture and hoe faces being normalized? Okay, so this is kind of my topic, right? So Navneet had the whole, if you want to be in a situationship, that's your thing. This is kind of my bag right now. I'm the non-committal, the commitment issues, emotionally unavailable, the whole thing. This is my bag, right? Thoughts on desi hookup culture? That's something where like, hey man, girls find guys attractive, guys find girls attractive, and you have a situation where you're just having a good time. Sorry we don't live 40 years ago where things are more conservative and you can't even talk to another woman without them being a family member or you having to marry them. We live in a modern time, all right, and you're gonna have something where you're gonna just you like her, she likes you. And but I think the thing with like hookup culture and hoe faces being normalized, bro, we live in a time, not only it's so hard because the thing nowadays is like you're marrying for love, right? You're marrying for because you love this person, you think you want to be with this person for the rest of your life, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is we live in a time where it is so hard for the average man and the average woman to provide for themselves. Now you have a situation where like some like cultures we just highlighted earlier, the man has to provide for both the man and the woman. So you know how hard, and then you gotta like move out, and there's so many things that kind of go into that dynamic of like
I don't think
you're
that's
not
why
you're
hookup
not
culture is so normalized.
no, but you're
I
not
mean,
thinking
continue,
long
but I don't think
term.
that's the
You're
reason.
not thinking long term. You're
I
thinking
think
like,
hoe culture is normalized because people want to be hoes, because
oh
people
my
have
god,
commitment issues.
why do you
Bro,
think
it's
that
true.
though?
Because people have commitment issues, people don't
Okay,
know
but
how to
where does
be
that stem
emotionally
from?
available. Childhood trauma, most likely. I'm not a psychologist.
Oh my god. No, but my point is that you have like these situations where like you hook up culture and this thing of like, like you're just turn and burn. You're turn and burn. You're not thinking long term with your relationships. You're not really you're thinking about in the moment. And there's a lot of things that go into this objectification of women, blah 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 blah. A lot of things that go into like, how like women are perceived in our culture and the sexual objectification, things like that. But my bottom line point is like why hoe phases and hookup culture and everything is because you're just wanting, you need serotonin basically. You're like the
Bro,
material
go work
conditions.
out.
Oh
There's
my
so many
god,
other
bro.
things that you can
There,
do.
listen,
Here, okay,
listen.
listen.
There is
If you're
nothing in
cool,
this world that is like the loving embrace of a woman. There's there's nothing. All right. There's no barbell, right? No drug, no alcohol is gonna make you feel the same way that a woman who like you think cares and loves you is gonna feel.
okay, you
Like
just said that,
damn,
right? You just said
damn.
that. You just said that, right? You just said that, right?
Okay.
So why are you hooking up with so many women then? If that's what's so important to you to be loved
Oh,
and
because you
nurtured by a
can't.
woman, why not find a woman that will do that for you? Why go to multiple women to get that? That makes no
There's
sense.
so many beautiful women out there in the world. Why would you just get one?
Are you dumb?
What do you mean?
Jesus Christ, bro. Go to therapy.
Oh my
That's
god.
not okay. No, that's literally not okay.
Bro, have fun, live life. If you see a pretty girl at the bar and you like her, you see a pretty I keep saying the bar, if
Stop
you see
giving
her
people this advice.
at a party, at the club, have a good time. You see her, you know what I'm saying, as long as it's mutual. Like when we talk about hookup culture and stuff, this is not something to where like you're depressed and you're emotionally unavailable and you're sad. I know like I'm kind of memeing, but this isn't something where like you're feeling those, you have those emotions and you're like, all right, a woman is gonna solve it. That's not how that works. That's not good. That's not a good thing to do. If you're looking at women to come heal you, or you're having this like me and who type thing, I've been there. All right, I've been there. There is no one coming to heal you. Right? This is just like a little timeout in this conversation. You need to confront yourself, confront your demons, and it's
Go
gonna
to
take a while.
therapy.
It's gonna take some time. Therapy definitely helps, but do not look at women to be your caretaker or to be someone that's gonna help you. If it's something like if you're like if you're out and you're trying to have a good time, blah blah blah, and you want to hook up, you want things like that. That's one thing. But if you go into something where it's like, I need this person to take care of me, you need to, slow your roll, buddy. Moving on to the advice section of the responses.
So this individual said they gave advice in this sense, but they were saying give your partner their space even when you miss them, let them miss you, and if they love you, your needs will be met. I see a lot of long distance relationships and we started off like that. Did long distance for over a year. That's how we met, on a phone call convo. Try not to stalk the social media too much. It's not that deep. If you can visit each other, make the effort, but don't stop living life. Stay loyal. Make a plan to come together if you can. Don't fall in love if you know you'll have to wait too long. You know your time limit, aka don't break your own heart. We share a different cultural background and very different from each other, but always embraced it. Have trust always, and when you don't, forgive. Don't give up when you have a couple bad arguments. Forgive and trust. Don't argue over the phone because it's too hype. Talk in person. The conversation disagreement is much calmer. And if it gets too intense, worst comes to worst, you can just pretend you're doing a push up mid argument to distract them. Your partner will hurt you and disappoint you as you will them. If it's worth it, you'll both know you will keep on loving each other and choosing each other. It's always a balance. Love to learn, learn to love.
What a great,
Yeah.
that's a great piece of advice. That really is something to where I think that's an important part of relationships. Like we have, a lot of fun memeing and trolling and everything. But I think like, like when you are in a relationship, like it's not something where, you love this person. You have a great relationship with it. You want a great relationship with this person. You're trying to manifest one. So, like it's something to where, it's not, you don't just fight over everything. And if you find yourself like fighting over everything or arguing all the time, like you may want to
Or those
reevaluate.
toxic relationships where they're like, let's make today a good day.
The you might want to reevaluate
You
that
gotta
if
get
you
out of
if you want something like long term. But this person came with great advice. Like if, especially when it comes to like the long distance dating thing, like if most people know what they want, and if like you need someone who you're kind of always around, or you always want to be around, then you may want to figure that out and figure out how to see them like at least once or twice a month. Spend time with them, spend quality time, make time for them, things like that. It's not easy. Love, I think that's the other thing is like, love should be easy and it's supposed to be easy, but a lot of it is hard work. It's effort. It's wanting to be there for the other person. It's wanting to, show up and be present and, you know, put effort and time into nurturing something that's really, really good for each of you, for both of you.
Also, in terms of what they said about arguments and, working through that, I agree with that too, because I've kind of noticed nowadays a minor dispute will happen and people will call it quits relatively quickly or easily. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not saying, if the person's emotionally, mentally, or physically abusing you, stay with them. No. Or cheating on you. But, if you have disputes where you can talk it through and work through it, then I think you should do that. The dating scene nowadays is terrible. So, if you actually found someone that is a good person and there's things that, everyone has something they have to work on, you're not going to find a perfect individual. So if you are willing to work with that person, then I would say work with that person.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, unless they're emotionally, mentally, or physically abusive or
And
cheating.
love isn't perfect. It's not like it can feel like that at times with the right person, but it's not some perfect thing where you're always gonna be, like it's always gonna be sunshine rainbows. There's gonna be times where you get frustrated. There's gonna be times where you get mad. There's gonna be times where your partner gets frustrated and gets upset. And that's where, your love for each other supersedes whatever issue there is. And, you wanting to kind of face life and together and wanting to address things together because you love each other and you share that love. That's something that's an integral part of being in love with one another. Is like, it's not just like there during the good times and the dates and everything. It's there during the arguments. It's there during like tough life decisions. It's something that's there. You want a life partner. You're taking on life together, and life is very hard. We all need each other, and I think they really hit the nail on the head when they said, love to learn, learn to love.
The next one is, I'm a pretty shy and reserved woman when it comes to love and expressing my feelings. I tend to avoid my feelings because I've been hurt so badly and at this point prefer being alone. That being said, I've been infatuated with this man and the way he speaks since 2019. Damn. But I've never had the courage to say it directly to him. I also don't know how he feels about me. What do you think is the best way to approach this situation? Should I continue playing it safe and love him from a distance, or should I risk it all and do something about it? Please advise.
Okay. So what I would say is like if you're infatuated with this man and everything, blah blah blah, and you've never had the courage to kind of directly say it to him, you should kind of see like I would say do some feelers, like see like what he kind of try to see like what he thinks about you, how he feels about you.
Bro,
Um,
they've been talking since 2019. What do you mean do some feelers?
what do
You
you
want
mean?
real advice?
He
Don't
says
listen to
I also
Sunveer.
don't know how he
Listen to
feels about
me.
me.
Listen
What do
to
you
me.
mean?
Sunveer, stop giving people terrible advice. This is what you gotta do. You are gonna talk to that individual and tell them how you feel and ask them how they feel about you. This whole beating around the bush, that's how you get caught up in
Listen, man.
situationships. That's how you get your feelings hurt. You're gonna assume stuff. Listen to me, do not listen to him. But no, really, if you like someone, it's since 2019. It's 2023. Like, come on. Talk to the person. Just have a conversation. What's the worst they can say? No, I don't have feelings for you like that. Big whoop. Like, just actually talk to this individual. That's what I would do.
Okay, so Navneet is a lot more direct, and she's a woman, so you might want to take her advice more. But in what I would say, if you listening to me, is like if you don't
I
know
won't
how he
listen to
feels
that.
about you, you should talk. What you should really do, listen to this. You should talk about other men with him and see how he reacts.
If you listen to Sanveer's advice, you are going to be stuck in a situationship and you're going to be in the same dilemma that you have been in since 2019. You want to know how this man feels about you? Ask the man how he feels about you. It's that simple. Men
Okay,
are
yeah,
easy
no,
creatures. They're
no,
not hard to read.
stop. No,
Yes,
yes, they
they
are.
are.
Yes, they
You
are.
guys are.
Stop.
No,
We are
no, they're not. No,
complex
they're not. No, they're
individuals.
not. No, they're not. No, you
Stop.
guys are
Okay,
not. You
stop.
guys are so easy. This is why I say if a man doesn't do XYZ for you, he hates you. You know why? Because men are simple creatures.
Do what I'm saying. See, like because you have to apply pressure, right? And applying pressure for men and applying pressure for women is different,
Bro,
right?
get off
For
Twitter.
men, so to apply pressure as a
Step into
man,
the real world.
you
Go
kind of
touch
got to be like,
grass.
hey, if a man or a woman says that, they don't want to be with you or like whatever decision that they make, you have to make them show it, right? If they say they want to be with you, if they say they like you, if they say they're choosing you, those actions have to back up those words.
You don't have to make a man show you that he wants to be with you. Like I said, if a man wants to be with you, you will know. You will not be confused. So please stop taking this man's
Bro,
advice.
listen, there's
Literally, it is so true. If someone wants to be with you, they're going to show you they want to be with you without you having to ask them or play these mind games.
maybe some people communicate emotions differently, right? And then, but I do think you might. I mean, it's been 4 years now. You might want to have that conversation, right? Have that talk, right? Because it's kind of It's like you're going on 4 years now.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what I'm saying.
my advice. Probably works if it's like 6 months ish. If you're in that type of zone, but you're four
Yeah,
years
so
in.
take my advice. 2019, that's what I'm saying. If you don't confront this individual now, it's going to be the same thing for the next 2, 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
as I said, what's the worst?
But
They're
they
going to
also
say
said
that
they're
they don't
shy
feel
and
the same way about
reserved.
you. Even if you're shy and reserved, you don't got to, like, be like, yo, I like you. Just ask them, what are your thoughts on me? What's your opinion?
Like what would a relationship look like? Are you looking for a relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to have fun, listen to me. Moving on to the random thoughts on going 50-50 in relationships.
I mean, we already discussed this. Oh, you know what? Actually, you cut me off when I was talking about this. I just remembered. Because I was saying that relationships should be 50-50, but like not in a monetary sense when it comes for women. Women also should return something in the relationship. I'm not saying come to the relationship with nothing to offer. But here's the thing, when people talk about 50-50 relationships, they're talking about like monetary stuff, right? But there's more to a relationship than just money. There's love that goes into it, respect, having someone you can rely on. Just there's so much more. There's so many more emotions that actually go into a relationship, but people don't really consider that when they're talking about going 50-50 in a relationship. It's always about money. So when I talk about like 50-50 relationships, I'm not just talking about money. But if you are talking about money, you should not be going out with a man that's making you go 50-50 on stuff. Like, come on, find a
Okay,
better
listen.
man.
All right. My take, right, just kind of summarized. When you go on a date or you're trying to court a woman, obviously, I think it's the man's responsibility to court the woman. I mean, it could be the other way around. We live in a world where, women DM men, that's possible. I mean, I'm just saying, I think that, if you like a girl, you should do and and obviously she likes you back, it's consensual. There's something there, and don't harass women. And, you should do everything that you can to kind of, please her and make her, feel comfortable and feel good and want to date you. Do everything you can to make her want to date you, right? But when it comes to 50-50 specifically, I think we live in a world where we want it to be more equal. We live in a world that we want to be more, um, like where the power dynamic is kind of shared between men and women. And I think part of that is, when you talk about finances and you talk about money, that's a conversation where you have to, have some type of class analysis in that. And you have to talk about how, like, it's hard to provide for one person. Granted, it's hard to provide for, two people. So I think when you talk about, these things of like, like feeling secure, feeling safety, I think a lot of the responsibility there, I don't think it should be exclusive to a man, to exclusive to a woman. I think both people should work together to provide those feelings for each other. And to also, like, if I have one day, then, my girlfriend should have the other day. If I have one, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you kind of just have like a kind of dynamic like that. And again, I want to preface this by saying I've paid for every date I've ever been on. So I'm just talking about what my ideal is. I'm not talking about what I actually do. There's a difference. I don't agree with the 50-50 thing, but I can understand where people are coming from.
I really want women to have higher standards for themselves and want better for themselves and not settle for dusty, crusty men. That's all. That is all.
I agree.
Because there are men that will treat you very, very well. So stop settling.
But money isn't everything. Remember that. Money isn't everything.
Money isn't everything.
Just because they don't just because they don't buy you everything you want doesn't mean that they're able to provide for you, all right? That's another, make sure you add that in there. All right? This is for all my, working class men out there that, you may not have all the money in the world, but you have all the love in the world for your partner. And that should matter. That should count. The next random entry was people pass around the word love too easy.
I don't really agree with that. I feel like if you feel like because you can have love for someone that you've known for a short period of time or even a long period of time. If you feel love for somebody, you feel love for them. Like I don't think it's passed around too easy. I think that's a very general statement to make. I don't know. I don't agree.
I don't think love is exclusive, right? I think it's such an important thing to talk about. Like, you could love anything. You could be like love. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something about, it's like a feeling. It's not like this idea where like it's like you have to get to like some certain tier or some certain level. You could love someone you hook up with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something that you appreciate who they are, you appreciate what they do, and that love may not develop into like a relationship. Again, like the situationship thing that I'm talking about. It may not develop into like a long-term relationship. It doesn't mean you don't have love for someone. Moving on to the next random tidbit. I think social media has such a negative influence on relationships these days. Girls will get mad over their guy liking a girl's pic, even though it'll be a girl they've been following for mad long. Like me personally, if I follow you on IG and you're a guy, I will like your pics. Doesn't mean I want you. People are too insecure nowadays.
Oh, you know what you know what I don't like about that? This is such a common thing. This is such a common thing nowadays where if you express something that you don't like, people are so quick to call you insecure. Wanting respect from your partner is not an insecurity. Okay? Here's my take on liking stuff. I don't agree with it, and if my man were to do that, he's not my man anymore. Why? Because it's disrespectful as hell. Are there going to be people that your partner finds attractive that are not you? Yes, you're human. It's human nature. Acting upon that is not cool. Acting upon that is disrespectful as hell. So if I'm walking, right, in real life, not on social media, I'm walking and I see an attractive person, I can acknowledge in my head that they're an attractive person. Me going up to them, though, and being like, you're attractive, can I have your number? That is like acting upon the fact that I think that they're attractive. And if I'm in a relationship, that's considered cheating, is it not? Is it not? Answer my question.
Is flirting cheating?
Yes, bro. Yes, flirting is cheating. So if you're doing that in, up in real life, what difference is it that you are seeing someone attractive, like you find somebody attractive on social media, you can just scroll past their post. You liking it is you acting upon the fact that you think that they are attractive. I
Okay.
find it disrespectful, and a lot of women find it disrespectful. And if you want to be a cool girl, a cool girlfriend who's okay with their man doing that, by all means, continue getting disrespected and be okay with that. And that's
Listen,
how you attract trashy men, low value men, men that treat you
low
like crap,
value.
and then
Jesus
women.
Christ.
Yes, and that's literally why women will sit there and wonder why they're getting treated the way that they do, because you are allowing for you are allowing for disrespect in such little terms that you really think that this man is going to respect you in other ways. No, it's disrespectful as hell. Not everything is an insecurity.
Okay, first of all, I appreciate whoever submitted that. I appreciate that so much. You are, I think you are so right and so correct. The second part I wanted to address was the discourse that you had about, like, I think social media discourse and liking is stupid, because I hold the opinion that, like, if my girl, or if, my potential, wife doesn't want me to like a picture, I'm not gonna like the picture. If she doesn't want me to, you know, be in a woman's likes or something, I don't care enough
Yeah,
to make that an argument, right?
respect their
I don't care.
needs.
With that being said, though, I think liking someone you've already been following, I don't think that's a problem. I think the problem comes when you're in a relationship and you follow someone. That shit is crazy.
Bro,
Following
that
someone,
shit.
following someone
Oh
is that's
my
single when you're in a relationship.
god.
That shit is crazy.
Bro,
Crazy.
that is so wild to me. If you are in a relationship and you are actively following people first, like it's one thing to follow someone back,
Yeah,
thirsty as hell. But to actively go and follow someone first, you are insane. Go
that's
to
kind of
therapy.
crazy. That's
Do not be in a relationship. That is crazy to me. That is so disrespectful to your partner to just
like,
you're in a
okay.
relationship and you're actively following new people. Are you dumb?
The thing that's crazy, bro, thirst following IG models when you're in a relationship, bro. Thirst following women that are not gonna
Insane.
follow you back, that you
Insane.
don't know.
Insane.
Come on.
Ick. That shit is
Come
so
on.
gross.
Come
That
on,
is so
man.
gross. Have some dignity, have some
Damn.
self-respect. I want women to stop being the cool girlfriend. Set some
No, no,
boundaries.
no. Don't listen to her. Listen. Have a good time. Live. Don't get upset over everything, right? That women nowadays tell you to get upset over. With that being said, that's what Navneet and I have to say about that. We would love to hear from you guys in the comment section about what you think about situationships, what you may think about 50-50. I mean, we would love to hear from you
$200
guys.
dates.
The $200 days, flowers, what your ideal dating is, whatever your favorite part about this video was. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for submitting, and we'll see you in the next video.